The snow had been falling since before dawn, the kind that didn't rage, but buried everything slowly, quietly, as if the world were being erased one soft layer at a time. Elias Crow tightened his coat as he trudged across the frozen path between his ranch and the neighboring homestead. He hadn't planned to come out in weather like this, but something felt wrong. Too quiet, too still. His neighbor, Thomas Hale, was a sick man, had been for months, and when no smoke rose from Hale's chimney, for a second straight day, Elias felt the unease settle deep in his bones. The Hale place stood half swallowed by snow when Elias arrived. The door hung ajar, creaking in the wind. Inside, the air smelled of cold ash and sickness. Elias found Thomas on the bed, eyes half open, breath shallow and rattling like dry leaves. It didn't take long to understand. Thomas was dying. He clutched Elias's sleeve with trembling fingers, trying to speak. The words came out broken, barely sound at all. But one thing was clear enough: fear. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, Thomas Hale's grip loosened. His eyes stared past the ceiling beams, empty, gone. Elias stood there for a long moment, the weight of it pressing down on him. He had known this would come, but knowing didn't make it easier. As he turned to leave, something caught his eye on the small table near the bed. A bundle of unopened letters tied with twine. Foreign stamps. Careful handwriting. Mail order correspondence. Elias frowned. Thomas had mentioned something once, months ago, between coughs and half-laughs. A bride, someone coming from far away. Elias had dismissed it as a dying man's lonely hope. Outside, the wind howled. Elias stepped back into the storm, and that was when he saw her. At first, he thought it was a drift-shaped wrong. Then he saw the fabric. A pale dress, half buried in snow. A human hand. He dropped to his knees, heart pounding, brushing snow away with numb fingers. She was alive, but barely. Her lips were blue, her lashes frosted white. She clutched something to her chest like it was the last thing tethering her to the world. Elias scooped her up without thinking. She weighed almost nothing. By the time he reached his cabin, his arms burned and his breath tore at his lungs. He laid her by the fire, stripping off her frozen shoes, wrapping her in blankets, rubbing warmth back into her hands. He'd seen hypothermia before. This was bad, very bad. Hours passed, maybe more. The fire crackled. The storm screamed outside. Then she gasped. Her eyes flew open, wild with terror. She tried to sit up, panic surging through her weakened body. Elias raised his hands slowly, voice low and steady. "You're safe," he said. "You're safe now." She stared at him, breathing hard, eyes dark and shining with fear. Her accent was thick when she spoke, the words broken but desperate. I was left," she whispered. "He never came." Elias's chest tightened, she explained between shivers. Her name was Anya. She had traveled weeks, crossing oceans and rail lines, following letters filled with promises of a new life, a husband waiting at the end of the world. When she arrived, no one met her. No wagon, no man, only snow and silence. She had walked, and then fallen. Elias looked down at the folded paper still clutched in her hand, one of Thomas Hale's letters. The truth settled heavy in the room. Thomas had sent for her, and died before she arrived. Anya bowed her head, tears slipping silently into the blanket. She had sold everything, left everyone. There was nothing to go back to. Outside, the wind battered the walls. Elias made a choice then, one that would change both their lives. "You can stay," he said quietly. "For now, until we figure things out." She looked up at him, stunned. Hope flickered weakly in her eyes. She didn't know yet what storms lay ahead, and neither did he. But fate had already begun to turn its cruel wheel, and what came next would shock everyone who lived within 100 miles.